as everybody's aware, that on September 15th, we suffered the fire here at the Allen Park Housing Commission. And we lost a tenant named Christine Bentley.
3 months ago.
Yes, 3 months today. And Christine was a hero to some of her neighbors and helped to alert them of the fire. And we're forever grateful that she did that and helped get some people to safety on that morning at 5 o'clock. Tonight, we're here to offer an award of valor to 7 individuals who entered the property during and immediately after the fire. At the time, we found out afterwards, there were a number of exposed piping that needed to be checked for asbestos, which was not done prior to these people entering the property. We also did not know at the time that there may have been some structural issues because of the fire that could have jeopardized a number of people's lives who were entering the property during that time. And so for their efforts on September 15th, we wanted to give them a token of our appreciation and acknowledge the work that they did and the fact that they participated in getting items for a number of our tenants that were critical to you all moving on that day as far as medicine and cell phones and hearing aids and canes and some clothes. So with that, I'd like to ask our administrative assistant, Jennifer Ashton, to come forward. Jennifer has been with us for over a year, and during that time has been collecting a lot of information about all of you, your emergency contacts. She's been helping prepare the emergency folder, the emergency book, which was actually, we were working on for a number of years, and Jennifer really helped organize it and really had it up to date the time that we needed it. So for her efforts, helping retrieve items that day, she was vital to me that morning and to the fire department in isolating who was missing that morning so that the firemen and your employees, Doug, could actually go and find the people we were missing and spend valuable time trying to reach and find those tenants and help get a number of you out of windows that morning. And for her efforts, we're forever grateful. And we'd like to present you with this plaque and this pin on behalf of the Housing Commission.
Thank you.
The second awardee, it gives me great honor, is Dana Hill, who is my mother. Over the years, before Jennifer and before Erica, we had no secretarial help. We relied on Dana's work as a volunteer to actually begin the preparation of the emergency information that led to the successes that we had on September 15th. On September 15th, when Dana showed up at the fire, she and our next recipient was determined to rescue every pet from every home. And you know about my dog and the love I have for my Paluch Pooch. And I think it's that love that our family has for animals and for our pets that drove Dana to enter the property and rescue a number of the animals along with our maintenance staff and with the president of our board. And for the work that she did afterward in the communication and the placement of our tenants, to finding housing, to keeping in constant communication with the tenants, those items made our lives better. And for that, we have an award for you on behalf of the Allen Park Housing Commission. Our next recipient happens to be my boss. And she is Brenda Dingus.
Okay, I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk for a minute.
when I am looking at all of you out here today, do you know what a blessing is? Do you see your faces? When I think of that day and what went on, I'm looking at every person who was there, who helped. It's like we've gone on in the last couple months, and yeah, there's been a lot of activity around here, and life goes on. But when you have a moment like this, you remember. You remember that day like it was 5 minutes ago. I remember Doug running around. I remember the guys, I mean, just barreling through hallways that you couldn't see. And everybody outside, and seeing you guys safe, and seeing your families come get you. And I may be up here getting something, but let me tell you something. I wouldn't have changed not one thing that went down that day with everybody helping. I wouldn't have changed one thing I did. I wouldn't have changed that seeing one face. You know, I am just thankful. I'm Dennis, you and your crew. I mean, I know I'm supposed to, this is not about me, this is about all of us and what everybody did that day. And I'm thankful for when all of you came back, and I remember at the first meeting, I said, I don't want to hear any complaining. A lot of you will remember, I said, I don't want to hear complaining now when I come in this building. It's fresh, it's new, we're here. We lost one person, yes we did, and that was horrible, and we shouldn't have lost one. But with that said, the rest of you are all here and well. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for every person in here that helped. I just can't even thank you enough. All the overtime you guys are doing, what you have done, just everybody. So thank you for every resident that lives here that has been positive and helped your neighbors and the people you live with. Thank you for supporting each other. And thank you for everyone who's donated, who's helped, who said thank you, who came by and just wished well to anybody living here. So now you can.
That morning, and a lot of this is, a lot of the tenants and their families may not be aware of the management organization that was happening during this crisis. And that morning, Brenda was the second phone call that I made. The first was to our attorney to get some legal eyes on the scene, and Brenda contacted the remaining board members. But Brenda was here immediately, and Brenda's first words was, whatever it is that you need and your staff needs, do it. Go and make sure that our tenants are safe and comforted and taken care of going forward. So from that moment, we have been given the authority on behalf of the Allen Park Housing Commission to do whatever needed to be done to help the tenants through this tragedy. But more than that, on that morning, Brenda also entered this building, not once, but on several occasions, teaming up with Dana to find Jim Crota's cat. Oh, yeah. And Louise's, Hernandez's cat, and animals that were actually on the loose in the building at that time. And these animals are extremely important, and they're like family to the tenants who live here. And for your work and your efforts on that day and the days that followed, the Housing Commission in my office wanted to give you a plaque and an award. So thank you for everything. With that, I'd like to introduce our fire chief, Mr. Doug LaFond, who has some awards to give out also.
Hey everybody. Thanks, Andy. I'm happy to be here and to present these civilian awards of valor to these three fine gentlemen. As you all know, on September 15th, 2014, we had a major fire. On that day, these three gentlemen were instrumental in assisting the fire department in various tasks, including but not limited to retrieval of items for the tenants such as hearing aids, medications, eyeglasses, cell phones, wallets, you name it. All three of these gentlemen entered the building time and again to ensure that the items to ensure everyone had the items that were required, and all of this work was done long before any air quality or structural integrity checks were done on the building. So first I would like to ask Maintenance Supervisor Don Estheimer to come on up. Don was on the scene within minutes, implementing the facility's emergency preparedness plan. assisting with evacuations and accounting for the whereabouts of residents. Don was a steady leader during this tragedy, organizing and retrieval of items and assisting with the shutting down of utilities of the building. He also secured the building's perimeter and its contents. The fire department, the city of Allen Park, and the commission are forever grateful for your contributions that day. Okay, next, I'll call up David Glenn. David was also on the scene within minutes and relied on his military training to assist Don with the implementation of the emergency preparedness plan. David's extensive training was evident as he assisted my department in pointing out which apartments had potential trap victims. He was also able to do this because of the familiarity with the residents. He also entered the building time and again, retrieving residents' effects. The fire department, the city of Allen Park, and the commission are forever grateful to you, David, for everything you did that day. I'm going to get Mr. Tim Estheimer up here. Tim? A lot of you guys probably know Tim is he's one that feeds you good food every morning. Little did you know that on the morning of that fire, Tim immediately left his place of business and he rushed over here to the fire to see if he could be of any assistance. Tim worked hand in hand with Don, David, Andy, and the other staff, assisting with the retrieval of items from the residents and giving comfort to them during this traumatic event. The fire department, the city of Allen Park, and the commission are forever grateful, Tim, for your contributions that day. I just want to point out again that the tasks these men undertook were a great risk to their own personal safety. They were working inside of a building before any determination could be made of the structural integrity or the air quality. Their actions can be clearly defined as heroic. So, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, well, last, but certainly not least, is our esteemed Executive Director, Andrew Hill. You know, Andy came here in 2009. When Andy first came here, he did not know much about housing, and he came in here ready to take this place on like no tomorrow, and he has. He came in, and the first thing he did is I remember bringing Doug in. What all do we need to do here? And what do we need to fix with our fire? And we made sure we got, what are those things called, Doug?
Fire stops.
Fire stops. He made sure we got those done. He made sure that security has been completely upgraded around this place. The emergency protocol manual, I mean, yes, everybody has done work on that. Andy researched for hours around the country on how different housing facilities did that. And a matter of fact, to this day, most do not even have close to any type of emergency protocol that we have at this facility at all. And on top of that, what Andy has done with that, NARO, which many of you may not know what NARO is, but NARO is the National Organization Over Public Housing. And they look out and lobby for public housing. And they are looking for information, and HUD's been calling Andy for information about our emergency protocol because it was done so well and with such efficiency and such excellence that other communities and housing facilities would like to get information from ours. So I want to actually applaud you for all the work that you have done on this emergency, because without this, we wouldn't even be standing here today. God only knows what would have happened. So I actually really want to applaud you for the emergency. Not only that, all the work that's been taking place here, getting this facility back up and running, you don't understand what goes on behind the walls of that office. And what he has done to make sure the people that had to not live here for a time, how he has grown the company that's been doing the reconstruction and the cleaning and everything, because he's trying to get everybody back home. This is your homes. This is where you live. And you are much more to him than just a person living behind a numbered door. You're his family. When he's out of this place, he is constantly thinking about this place. He lives and breathes the Paluch building. And I'm not just saying that. He really, really does. So know that when he is not here, he is constantly thinking of better ways to take care of you, to have this building taken care of, to have it, to be the best building and the best housing facility in the United States. That is his whole vision for this place. So know that you are cared for. Thank you again so much, the Housing Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say one more word from me. And what Brenda's saying, that the morning of the fire, I said at the city council meeting, it's counterintuitive for anyone to enter a burning building. And I never thought that day would come that I would actually do that, or want to, or ever want to do again. But on that day, when we showed up, we did. Our volunteers and our employees, and Tim, a business owner, left his business to come over here and enter the building to do what needed to be done out of instinct. And what Brenda's saying is true. It is not because we get paid to do this, or they're volunteers and they're friends of ours. They did it with the whole heart of the love that they have for the tenants and your families. And had anybody been hurt more than the one loss that we had? Every instance of anybody being in the hospital would have crushed us completely. So we have great love for all of you. I want you to know that. We take our jobs and the volunteer work that Dana does. Tim's over here is a big help to us all the time. We do that with every bit of love that we have for you. We're so happy that you're home. We're working very hard to get your other 10 friends home as quickly as possible. The Housing Commission would like me to invite you all to join us, and for reception immediately following, we're going to ask the families of the awardees to go and get their food first. It'll just take a minute, and then everybody to join us. But we'd like you to be around to talk to our employees, talk to the awarding recipients, and they want to tell you how much they appreciate all of you too. So thank you very much.